Lightworkers Unite is a podcast and social show hosted by intuitive women, lightworkers, and most importantly, friends, Mayuman Manjeet. Welcome to our podcast, Lightworkers Unite, where we believe there is a lightworker within all of us.
Whether you are a medium, an educator, or a nuclear medicine technologist, there is a lightworker within you, and we have work to do.
This is a safe and sacred place where lightworkers connect, grow, and learn.
And share our light with the world. Hi! Hello,
What's up,
my
Manjeet?
sister.
Hi.
Sister. How's it going?
It's going good. It's going okay. Today is Monday, our recording days, and we were just talking about right before we decided to hit record. Valentine's is next week, like a week from today.
Yeah. Do you guys celebrate? Like, are you big celebratories?
Us as in Johnny and myself, or my family,
family.
We will give each other a card, and never gifts, but usually a card. And then we'll try to go out to dinner. At least when the girls were little, we did. And now it's just, we have practices and activities. And so we never really have. This year, we don't have anything.
I was curious. I'm kind of curious how many people really do celebrate that, celebrate the day, and it's a big deal, and
go out to dinner.
Yeah.
Well, I always hear about the restaurants are always booked with reservations and specials. And I do kind of hear some of my friends saying, oh yeah, we're going to go out to dinner here. And, and there's always a little piece of me thinking, oh, that's nice. That's so sweet. Like, your husband booked that for you.
Oh, yeah. It seems so intentional, right? It's like a very purposeful, like, let's get together and celebrate our love for each other.
Our love for each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys acknowledge it? Do stuff? What do you guys?
Nope. On that note.
Not ever? Like, not really?
No, it's really not a thing in our house. Like, it never really was. I mean, when the girls were little, we would, they'd always bring home little like lovey hearts and shit like that. But we don't really do a lot around Valentine's Day.
Don't give your lover a Valentine.
Yeah, no, we're not. I don't know. I don't know if he, I think it just feels like a very, I love the intention around the day, but I feel like you should always feel loved by the people in your life.
Yeah.
Agreed. Like irrelevant of the day. But I love the intentionality of like, there's one day where you are really carving out this very specific time to really show your love. But we just never really got into that.
Yeah.
And it
Nothing
kind of
wrong
bleeds,
with that.
Yeah. It kind of bleeds into our last episode about love languages, right? Like if you haven't heard that one, our little,
which was so fun.
It was so fun.
It was so fun. Yeah.
Because it was about, how we celebrate love with each other and what's your love language? Like, it's quality time. Is it physical touch? Is it, all those things. So I think when you really understand that about each other, Valentine's Day is every day,
Yeah.
That's the fucking golden Willy Wonka ticket, ain't it?
That's right. Right. Acknowledging your love for someone else. Yes.
I said, ain't it? I don't even know.
It.
I know. What's wrong with me?
Ain't is a word now. When we were kids, it wasn't, but now it is.
Oh my gosh.
I like it. But I agree. Acknowledging our love for others. And then most importantly, which this show is about, our love of ourselves, of thyself, which I can honestly say, I do truly, truly love who I am, love myself. Now, there's parts of things that I know I need to work on, clearly, as we all do. I'm constantly growing, expanding, and working on. But for the most part, I do feel like, I love myself, and therefore I want to acknowledge that and celebrate that with really putting myself first in my life. And I know for some that sounds selfish, or that sounds, self-centered. And I don't mean like put myself first in that selfishness way, but definitely making sure that my life is filled with joy and love and my passion for the things that I desire, and surround myself with people that I love and that inspire me and lift me up, and that I can do for them as well. If I don't do that, and if I'm putting others before myself, then I feel like then I really must not care that much about my happiness and joy. So I don't know. It's a fine line. Some people are weird, like, of course, do I love myself? I don't know if I put myself first, but I think it's kind of important. Like the airplane mask, right? I mean, put the oxygen mask on you first so that you can help others. But I kind of like myself.
Oh, and you should. You're very lovable.
Oh, thanks. You're so sweet. How do you feel about
like?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, as a coach, right? We spend a lot of time talking to folks about, a lot of my clients are, they're really busy, successful people that are just like, I'm fucking empty. And they don't even know where to start, filling their cup, filling themselves back up, because you're right. I think it has always felt selfish.
Yes.
But really it's selfless to actually put yourself ahead. And one of my, fundamentals is fundamental beliefs around self-care and self-love is, we cannot give when we're empty. We think we're giving, but we're actually giving a smaller version of ourselves to people when we are not full. Yeah. And when we really haven't acknowledged all of those beautiful places within ourselves that want to be fed and nourished and loved just deeply and unconditionally. It is really a, you're right about the mask. It's like completely sometimes counterintuitive, right? Because you think, oh, I've got to take care of all these people. I've got to take care of my team. I've got to take care of my family. But then who the fuck's taking care of you?
Yeah.
And that's, I like, to me, that is like the ultimate self-love, is how do I love myself? How am I loving myself every day in the micro, parts of my life, all the way to the macro parts of my life, big trips away, or taking deep breaths every day, like that's all self-love, it's all ways we fill our cup,
I mean, it's true. And the filling the cup, I've been to one of your self-care workshops, and you also spoke at one of the events that I was emceeing at Holy Family, the ladies' luncheon, which the topic was self-love, self-care. So you are really an expert, I would say, in helping others learn how to put themselves first and to recognize and acknowledge that it's okay to do so. Yeah. And giving ourselves permission to do so. So let's hear it. Let's do it.
Well, I feel like, like even just like filling your cup, right? Like I think a lot of people understand that technically and emotionally. They understand it, intellectually. Okay, I understand that there is a dynamic happening energetically and spiritually and physically. When I'm empty, I cannot give. But then the bigger question, the deeper question that I find working with clients is, how do I fill my cup then? Like you have this vessel, right? You have a cup and you're empty, you're giving. But when you peel that back, there's so much more dimension under there, because a lot of folks struggle with how do you fill your cup. And so that's kind of the strategy that I think is really important with self-love, is really understanding and finding out how do I feel loved? What are the things that I can do every day that make me feel like I'm really loving myself and being intentional about that?
Yeah.
What am I doing every week that says, yes, I've carved out this time for myself because I actually really love myself. Yeah. What am I doing every month, that says I really am giving myself exquisite love right now because that's how I'm filling my cup. Yeah. Right, so like, how do you fill your cup, ma'am?
Oh, me. Oh, me. Oh. Well, it's so interesting. I'm like leaning and listening to you right now. And so that was for me. Well, so I actually want to speak to that. Like, that's such a big question. And that I think you said everyone doesn't know how to do that per se. And Martha Beck, who I love and adore, and is an author, speaker, she's badass. Love. She was on a podcast with Glennon Doyle, another one, Love. And she was speaking to like, make a list of the 10 things that do you know this? That you hate to do or do not like to do. And then on the other list, 10 things that you love to do. That, as you would say, fill your cup. And then do you want to replace slowly the thing that you absolutely hate with 10 minutes of something that you love. And that I have been trying to do that more and more, just like, okay, yes. So it doesn't make all the things that I have to do, quote unquote, as miserable when I know that I'm going to replace a lot of that time with something that I love. And for me, doing the things that I love is, well, first of all, let's just be honest. Right now, when I'm exhausted or depleted and I'm still trying to just breathe because of the busy day and children and life, I do like to allow myself to watch television. I do. And I'm a Netflix queen. I love it. And I do have shows that I look forward to, but I allow myself that little freedom of escape and getting away. So, but I love to write so much. I love to paint. And those things I can do here in the house, all those things. But to fill my cup on a macro level, I need to get away with my girlfriends. And that could be coffee, dinner, weekends, trips to Paris. I mean, which is coming up. Yes. But it's the little tiny things, like you said, that I can continue to feed myself to get me through the day, that, okay, at least I did something that filled my heart, that, that I was passionate about. And even if it's reading a book, and even if it's just listening to a podcast or something little for me that wasn't for anybody else. Because I do enough of that for everybody else.
Yes. Right? Amen. Yeah. And I know a lot of our people, a lot of people in our audience that are listening, they can resonate with that. Giving and giving and giving is a way that we show love to others, right? We are showing how much we love them by doing things and being in service to them and dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's and, making the dinners and doing all that stuff. But then, when we reflect on that, well, how am I actually really loving myself truly and deeply and profoundly, to the point where I feel energized by giving? I think that's a big key, is when we start feeling depleted, when we're doing the things that we kind of like to do, like cooking. Like for me, it'd be cooking, but if I start feeling like I'm not really loving this activity, it's time for me to look at myself and say, why do I feel empty here? Why do I feel victimized by doing this for other people? Right. Because that's your first sign, of, hey, there's an imbalance here in the love game. I wish everyone could see your face when you said that. In the love game. In the love game. It is out of balance.
Yes, out of balance.
It's out of balance. And knowing that about yourself, instead of being resentful and, really feeling victimized by your life, right? That's an opportunity to go, you know what? I'm really fucking pissed about doing all this shit for everybody else. Wait a minute. Where's my mirror? What do I fucking need right now? You know? And that's when you just say to everybody else, how about all of you all take a step back, fuck all the way off.
You're going to say something
all the way. I love you, but I need to love me, Yeah.
Because so otherwise we can't show up. You're absolutely, because if I'm depleted and exhausted and now I'm supposed to love you and help you out, I can do that so much better if I'm feeling good and energized because my cup is full. It's so true. And in fact, I don't know about you, but when I come home from a girls' trip after just being recharged with my sisters and having fun and true relaxation and being able to vent and talk and share and connect, when I come home, I do feel charged and I feel like I have way more for my family. I'm excited to see them. I'm like, hey, and people know, like, oh my God, mom's happy. She just got back. So I think that not everyone is going to be able to do that, or maybe not everyone has a group of friends that they like to travel with, and it doesn't have to be that. So what other ways can you find to fill your soul, your heart with what you love? Yeah. And there's so many different ways to go about that. And I think if you don't have clarity of what it is that you desire and are passionate about, your interests and loves, then I always say, break out the journal, break out a piece of paper, write some shit down. Let's start with, general things that you love and look at it, feel it, see it, and then branch off of that list. Where in my life can I find, maybe it's art or music, hello, just listening to your favorite song. Fuck, I have to tell those bitches to get, lay off my radio when I'm in my car driving. It's my car. Don't you dare take the aux, plug in your phone and play your shit. It's my car. I don't go into your car and take over your radio. So
it's my music. It's my time.
It's my music.
My time. Music. Yes, right. I know. I love that. I love it. Yeah. And, I think the thing with self-love too, and this is where I think a lot of folks get kind of hung up on this, this concept of self-love. Number one, you're right, not being clear about what it looks like for you. I think folks, sometimes they make it more complicated than it needs to be. Like, it like being profoundly in love with yourself doesn't mean that you think you're fucking perfect. It means that you have just really fine-tuned and found out, like, I really like time alone. I love my time alone. Yes. And so that is who I am as a woman. Like, I really value and honor getting the fuck away from everybody, so that I can really just do that soul work that I really need to do to go deeper into whatever it is that I'm working on, or, what new module I'm making up, or whatever, Right. But if I don't give myself that time, I'm just, so I think it's just, what I'm trying to say is, I think that people get really stuck on what their self-love looks like, because I think it has to be like all or nothing. It has to be this really big thing. Right. But really, you start small, right? Start with one of my big self-care, loving acts daily is, because I break it down into, like, when I'm coaching folks, it's like, what is your daily self-care regimen? What is your weekly self-care regimen? What is your monthly self-care regimen? What's your yearly self-care regimen? Like, let's unpack it so that you're getting really, really clear and creating intention around when you're being mindful about being, loving yourself. My daily is literally, I don't laugh, babe, it's to breathe.
I'm not laughing because it makes complete sense.
We're going so fast and furious, and I have meetings after meetings in both of my worlds. And you kind of caught a gist of that this morning. We were, interviewing one of our upcoming podcast guests. Say that 10 times. Thanks, Louise. And I'm like, okay, we're doing this. But, you could tell there's so much happening that I just need to breathe, and I just breathe through it in order to, like, slow my heart rate down, just get into myself. And then I can feel confident. Otherwise I don't feel strong. I feel
if
intimidated.
If we're not bringing oxygen to our brain. And a lot of times when we're overwhelmed or we're busy and we're taking care of others, then we're doing the shallow breathing. Yeah. I'll catch that all the time. I'm like, stop, come on, I got to breathe. But you're right. The breathing, or for me, it's meditation / breathing is my daily self-care. And I love going there. So it's big, but I had to practice that and get to that spot where I could allow that to happen. Like, sorry, I'm meditating, everyone, just leave me alone. Even if it's 5 minutes, but when you can really do like a good 30 to 60 minutes of quiet time and breathing and but those daily things. So that's one way to do it daily. So what do most people think weekly?
Weekly, it kind of looks like, maybe going out with friends, like going out for dinner, like having a dinner date, or I mean, like we kind of do this every week. We have our Mondays together. It's like a date.
Yeah.
And for me, that's like really exquisite self-love, because when we were talking, we get to collaborate, we get to vent a little, like it's a real sisterhood time for me. So that could be like once a week would look something like maybe meeting for coffee, having like a standing date. It might even look like,
Playing
turning off.
volleyball.
Oh yeah, playing volleyball. Exactly.
That's what I do. I love that. Yeah.
Once a week. Yes.
Yep.
Going to the golf range, or like doing your yoga practice, twice a
Yeah.
week. And for me, it's, looks like if I don't get my yoga in 3 times a week, I feel stiff and angry. I feel like I don't like it. I like feeling, getting that energy out of me, as well. So just, but that's me. Like I have a lot of friends that fucking hate hot yoga. Like they want to vomit every time they think about it. So it's like, that's finding your own unique, special formula for self-love. That's the whole fucking key. Because what works for me might not work for you, ma'am.
That's right.
And that's where it's such a personal odyssey, this journey of self-love. And I think though, and I see this a lot, like with clients, is they'll come to me, when they're sick. So it's like they've depleted their self-love and self-care so much that they have migraines chronically. They have chronic back pain. They have TMJ, their jaws clenched all the time. They're having, really bad muscle spasms because they are not taking care of themselves, right? And so it's almost like, us having this conversation about self-love, it almost feels like it is proactively so powerful to mitigate pain in your body, in your life.
Yes.
Physical
pain, emotional pain. Yes.
It's just so much tied up in that, like how we're really loving ourselves just unconditionally with no judgment, just really just in our power, and asking for what we need. I think it's just a real, in our society really right now, it doesn't really support that. Especially women are expected to work outside the home, work inside the home, work around the home, work, be the primary caregiver if there are children, be the primary person to cook all the food. Like that is, that does not lend itself to a self-care regimen that's sustainable, So
it's true, kind of breaking through the culture, of our society and those expectations, and depending on where you live. And for those moms out there that are trying to be quote unquote super mom, right? Oh, I can do it all. I'll work full time. I'll make sure that I made the kids' beds, and I'll throw and load a laundry before I leave for work. I've packed their lunches. I'll pick them up. I'll take them to activities. I'll get home. I'll cook dinner, and then I'll transfer the laundry. I'll fold all the laundry. I'll feed everyone, get them to bed, bathe and stuff. And then I will completely pass out by the time I go to bed, and they probably have still some work to do. I still have to make some calls. Whichever it is, I think there's people, and I am speaking to women because largely our audience is mostly women. But those women that feel like I can do it all, I'm going to, not because they enjoy it or love it or take pride in it, because they feel like they have to, and that other people will judge them. Right. And they also feel like they want to shine in that department. Like I can do it all because I'm all that. And wow, look at her. God, how did she manage to do that? Oh my goodness, she's amazing. Right. Just to kind of carry on more duties and get it all done so that you could have, the accolade of, oh, you are amazing. You are super mom. And I just say, take that away. You're not doing this for anyone else. Do what you can for your family. Yes, but they're going to suffer if you continue to deplete yourself and come from a place of people pleasing and control, or, working for that praise. I just feel like that's the wrong intention.
Well, and being in that place, I mean,
yes.
I can relate to that woman 100%, what you're saying. And if you're looking for praise, you're usually never going to get it, because most of the time people don't know what the fuck you're doing. They have no idea of all of things and hats that you're wearing and juggling at any given time. So to have that expectation that other people should be acknowledging you and celebrating you is kind of like, what the fuck? They're doing their own thing.
They're doing their own thing. Exactly.
Yeah, like there is no way people are going to have any concept of how complex our lives are. They just so that concept of praise, I think is really like it's really hard. We only get that really from our sisters, from other women that are going through the same thing, So but even then it's far and few between, because we're all trying to like fucking do everything and
and we shouldn't have to compare ourselves either, because then maybe, maybe my sister next door is like pulling it all off and she's able to get a nap in. I'd be like, what am I doing wrong? And I can't get a fucking nap in. What? Oh my God. And so I think that I can't, people are uniquely themselves, and like getting back to whatever makes you happy and fills your cup is different for everyone else. So I do love naps. I'm just going to say, as I'm speaking about it.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. You too. I do treasure them. They are, especially when you got it down, you can set that little timer and boom, hard, deep. I mean, just all the way out.
We still talking about napping?
I know.
Sorry.
But no, this is deep and hard, babe. Yeah.
Sorry. I just couldn't help it. I was like,
so damn. I'm all over the place. I'm thinking to myself how that just sounds lovely. Like, how am I going to squeeze up one in today? But I really think this is important to tell our listeners that you have permission. It is okay. And even as you're hearing this, and I'm sure all those that came to your workshops, or even those ladies at the luncheon a couple years ago, are hearing this. And then of course they're madly taking notes. And now they have this information, they have these tools. Starting to apply it is a whole different thing. Because yes, in your mind, you're like, I'm going to do this. But you might have the judgment of your husband or a partner or your children. Like, what's mom doing? Why is she taking a nap? She has to take me to soccer. So I always think, how can we implement all these beautiful tools and tips and strategies, like realistically and successfully?
Yeah.
How do we do that?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really about awareness, just really being intentional about being clear about what it is that I really desire. I mean, and I have to say, when I did that, when at the
Holy Family Luncheon.
Thank you. The ladies luncheon. Yes. I have to confess, and I talked to you about this, and I talked to some of my really good friends at the time. I felt like a fucking fraud, going up there at that one point, because I was in my 6th week of radiation. I was really hurting. My blood pressure tanked. I was really tired. And, here I am going to do this whole presentation, with, all these people and all these beautiful women and men, looking at me, and I'm talking about self-care. And here I am, like in one of the biggest battles of my life after breast cancer, And so I really had to come to terms with that. Like, what am I really doing here? And how am I in alignment with what I'm saying? So it was a really hard time. And I think I started it by saying, I'm much better laying down So if I halfway through this talk just decide to lay down, don't worry. My blood pressure is dropping. I'm still talking. I got the mic. You might not see me,
No, you did. Yeah. Sit down. We had a chair for you so that you could sit down. Yes.
Yeah. But I think, at the end of the day, I was like I was really tortured about that. I was like, God, maybe I need to cancel this. But I really was compelled to share in my story. And if there was one person there that, could see that, this is important for me and this actually fills my cup too, even though I'm feeling like shit, me sharing your energy and talking about these things that I'm so passionate about is really filling my cup. Like I felt so energized after that. I felt so happy and full of, like I get a lot of energy from other people too. And like yourself. And so I was kind of like, all right, understanding that about yourself, where maybe somebody else should have canceled, to take care of themselves. But, really unpacking and trying to understand this is who I am. And, I did, I felt great after that. Like all my friends were there and like the people that, have been supporting me the whole time. And you were there, of course. And it was just, it was almost like this, like really surreal self-love conversation because I'm in this big battle,
yes, of course. Which I would look at as much more of an example of awareness and like, okay. And in a way, you delivering that message and doing the work that you do is saying that I love myself and I love myself enough to share that I have these tools that I can help you guys with. So I think it was a beautiful time and a profound moment to acknowledge that. And everyone, of course, was very gracious and it was beautiful. It worked out great. And I do think those others, everyone who listened to you or has attended a workshop of yours on self-care, know that these are all valuable tools and we do our very best to apply them. And we can't beat ourselves up. We have to be gentle with ourselves. If we can't, in that moment, it's not every second of the day that we can put ourselves first. It's just knowing that, okay, like you always say, it's about the balance. So maybe you are going to stretch yourself a little thin to get the job done and to, manage the household or take care of that project or speak at a luncheon. And knowing that afterwards, I am going to put my feet up, I'm going to sit and relax, and then I'm going to give myself a little pat on the shoulder for allowing myself to persevere and push a little bit for the greater good of all. And know that I will get back to filling my cup once again, because I just completely poured it all for all of you. So I think it's beautiful that you shared that. And not everyone who was there knew that or needed to know that. So it was good. But it is a good example of not to be gentle with ourselves, not to be so hard on ourselves that we have to do this. I have to get through. I'm hard on myself if I am feeling lazy and I don't feel like fucking cleaning the house, and then I'm like, is that all my roommates annoyed with me? Maybe. I don't give a shit. If they want to clean up, they can clean up. But there's some days where I will literally be mad at myself, be like, oh, what is wrong with you? Why you need to get this shit done, ma'am? And I have to stop and say that self-talk is not healthy, and nor does it represent my love for myself, that I can give myself permission to take a break. So self-talk is important.
It is. And I love that. Like I've kind of created this yearly ritual in my life where October is my month of testing. I get my eyes checked. I get my blood work. I get my boobs checked. I get everything that I can think of, all the, I have to do a colonoscopy at some point, like all of those tests, my eye, like everything has to, I always book that in October, right? Get all my appointments in. And that's self-love to me. that's me saying, I love my body enough to say, my vision is fucking off. I need like trifocals or some shit. I can't drive in the dark.
Moi aussi, sister. Moi aussi.
I'm like, oh, good Lord. But, taking that time to make those appointments and really honor where your body is at this stage, I think is just like one of the biggest acts of self-love. I really have to say. And if you are one of those people that does that regularly and easily, then I have so much respect and admiration for you, because that is something I really have to work at. And I mean, having cancer really did kick my ass into getting myself like, hey, nobody else is going to take care of you physically. Nobody, except for you. And so I'm going to just share that I was feeling very lethargic the last couple of years, and I thought, oh, I'm on tamoxifen. I'm, got over this big battle with breast cancer, and I'm sure my hormones are all fucked up and blah blah blah, right? And I got some blood work done just this last year, and my thyroid is jacked. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like there is a solution here that I can create more energy in my life, because I'm deficient in this area and I didn't know, Yeah. So I think looking at like just our whole bodies, like holistically, like there's a physical part of our bodies that require tremendous and profound love and attention. Yeah. And we neglect her, we are saying, we don't give a fuck, but we are sovereign. We're fucking goddesses. We're on this planet. We deserve to treat this body like a temple. Like,
that's right. That's what I say. Your body.
Nobody else going to do it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
So just thinking like self-love is all about that nurturing emotionally and spiritually and energetically, but also, this physical part. I think women are generally not that great at. Do you agree?
Well, because they're busy taking care of everybody else. So yes. And I think as you get older, I think you'll find it a little more common with women our age, but I definitely in my 20s, I didn't go get physicals in my 20s or check my eyes or do anything, I just had a pap smear once a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? But yeah, I think women tend to put it off, take care of everyone else. I'll get to it. And I also think sometimes it's scary. I think some people say, you know what, I don't want to go, because what if they say something that I don't want to hear yet? And maybe I'll try and turn it around on my own first. And when I start to feel really good, then I'll go in, because there's underlying fear of what is the doctor going to say. And some people don't have a fear. They just have no interest. They're like, I feel good. I'll go in when there's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually feel like men are worse getting to the doctor. I have to say, I think, so all our male listeners, like all three of you, no, I'm kidding. I don't know how. I'm just kidding. But, I feel like that is a real challenge for men, like really just like kind of surrendering that, okay, I'm going to get all this stuff tested and figure out, where I am with my blood work and my eyesight and my this and my that.
Is William good at that?
Oh, no, he's shit. No,
really? Okay. That's interesting. Because John, surprise, surprise, Johnny Apple Pie, he is good at that.
Oh, good. That's really good.
He is. No, he does. So, but I didn't know if, because William and Johnny are a lot alike and different.
Yeah. Well, Will's kind of like what you were saying. If nothing's bothering him, he's not going to bother with it, but there's no like proactiveness about it, and then there are things I know he's probably neglecting, like his eyesight. Like I'm sure he would really benefit from getting an actual like prescription for his eyeballs, as he's like, every time, is it dark in here? I can't read. Why is it so dark in here? And I'm like,
it's called readers with a flashlight. Yeah.
I know. Oh my God. But, but, I'm thinking of my father-in-law and my brothers, and, they're pretty proactive, but there's definitely like some resistance there to like,
Sure,
you
sure.
know. So I'd be curious if our listeners have any thoughts on, you know, men and women going into the actual doctor, if it's easy for them or not, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And I would say again, if it resonates with you, because I'm not one to say there's right or wrong. And if you are someone that's like, I know you ladies are saying this, but I'm good and I don't really feel like I need to, and I have my own reasons. That's okay. We're not trying to talk people into doing something that isn't in alignment with who they are. But I liked what you said about the self-care of taking care of the body. I absolutely agree with that. And yes, and I think it looks different for different people. Where setting those appointments and checking those boxes, the
Yeah.
colonoscopy and the mammograms and all that stuff,
Yes.
really important,
Yes.
especially at our age. Just trying to be proactive and early detection, all that. But as I say that, I'm also a big believer in not coming from fear, where people like, well, what if they find something? Like if and I don't know, Dr. Christiane Northrup always, I hear her voice in my head saying, yes, and she's a doctor and she speaks to those that go in and get annual mammograms. Yes, there's early detection. She goes, but also you could probably go through your whole life, not have any worries. And let's say we all have the precancerous cells in our bodies, and depending on the stress in your life and what you're doing can activate those or not. And sometimes just living your life the best way you can with unconditional love and being in that high vibe frequency. I also think if we allow ourselves to have a fear about our bodies, like, oh gosh, they found something and now I'm going to sit in that and really lower our frequency, I guess, because of fear of being sick or getting cancer. I want to clear that and say, let's not walk around in fear of getting the C word, right? Or because everyone
Yeah.
says that, oh, my biggest fear is getting cancer. And then I say, well, then don't have that fear. Like, let's not bring it anywhere near our auric field. Like, just
Yeah.
don't go there. And or just visualize your body, this healthy, brilliant white light that it is.
Mhm.
So if you want to connect with your body, you want to give yourself some true unconditional love, know that you are a beautiful light being in this vessel that you have to take care of to house your soul.
Yeah.
But shine that light and start living from a place of faith and love that everything's going to be okay, no matter
Yeah.
what. No matter what,
Yeah.
everything's going to be okay. Even if you die, it's going to be okay.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I mean, it does. Like, it takes a lot of courage, you know, to get clarity, to go to the doctor, to do those things, to like, I mean, for me, that was how I could have faith. I needed to know the answers. I'm not someone who likes to sit in curiosity and fear all the time, you know. So it took a lot of courage for me, because I had a lump in my breast for a year. And, you know, that's a long fucking time. So, I mean, I get it. I get that it feels really scary to do that. I just was really, really lucky that it was, it was very slow growing, you know, but going in, I remember it was like an act of true faith and love of this body to say, okay, I'm honoring you. You've birthed two babies. Like, my body's been through war, right? Like, it's
That's
been
what I call
great
it too.
to me.
My war wounds. Yeah.
It's been through battle, and I love her, and I, fed my babies, you just kind of, and everyone's journey's intrinsically theirs. And it took me a really long time, and I'm really embarrassed to say that it took me so long to go see the doctor, but that was from fear. And, if this does serve folks that are maybe experiencing some ailments, and fear around going in to get that clarity, maybe if this does expedite that trip even by a day, I think that's awesome, because you can live in faith and in the light. Like, the whole time I went through my surgery, you were a really big part of this, helping me envision blasting away any kind of like bullshit, any kind of cancerous cells. Like I just believed like, okay, I'm doing everything that I can emotionally, energetically, spiritually to get through this. And that's all we can ever do.
That's right. It's all we can ever do. Yeah. Yes. And you did it with grace. You did it with grace.
Thank you. I'm so lucky. I had a good healer, my Mayumi. Oh my God, I love it. Yeah, I'm so grateful for you because you're right. Sometimes you just need to, like, I needed to be reminded that, I can live in the light even though I'm going through fucking hell.
Yeah.
You can still try to embody as much of that positivity as you possibly can and just let that universal consciousness of light and love just run through you all the time.
All the time. Yeah. Start your day with that. Just put your feet on the floor when you get out of bed, stop, breathe, and bring in the light right through the top of your crown chakra, all the way, feel your body, down your feet, into the ground, and just anchor yourself. Just
yes. I love that. That's self-love, ladies and gentlemen.
That's self-love. That's right.
Yes.
And gentlemen.
And all three of you. I don't know.
There might be more. I don't know. Well, hopefully we'll bring on more because our future guest that's coming on is male, and boy, he is so strong and deep voice. I think you ladies will like it. Yeah. Well, he's gay, so maybe you won't.
Well, I still love it. I'm like, I don't care how gay you are. I think you're fucking hot.
Yeah, his voice is something else. Yeah,
it's awesome.
But this is really. Well, is there anything else that we want to say to speak to this? Because I kind of want to share also about my love affair to myself. Right. Because when I turned 50, it was during the lockdown. Like I had a big party planned and that all got canceled and it was all good. I'm totally great with it. But I was supposed to go to Paris and do some traveling and I'm feeling compelled to be in Paris. Even I don't need a long time. I just wanted a couple of days because I have never traveled by myself just to be by myself. Now I've traveled by myself to conferences and done things but I'm just saying I wanted to be alone in a city and Paris was calling me and I don't know why. I just feel like I want to go and fall in love with myself all over again. It's a love affair for myself that I'm going to treat myself to be in Paris, one of the most romantic cities of all time.
Yeah.
And just to be with me. Just to be with me. But I'm only going to do 2 days. Don't get me wrong. I think after 2 days, I'll be like, hello, does anybody want to come meet me?
Yeah.
I want to come, I want to have coffee because I love people and I'm very social. So it'll be really interesting to see how I feel alone, not knowing a soul and being with myself. So that's my self-love gift that I'm giving myself this year.
I love it. Yes, yes, yes. It is. There is nothing like Paris by yourself. I did that when I was 20 years old.
Oh, see, and here I'm waiting until 53. Are you fucking kidding me? You were 20 and you went there by yourself.
I did. I went to, actually, I was supposed to go with my sister. She lived in Frankfurt at the time, Bellevue, and she just had a little baby boy, Maxi Cozy. Now he's fucking a grown-ass man. And he got sick. And so she bought me a ticket and said, you're going. And then I went by myself. So it was truly.
I can't believe I don't know this story.
Yeah, that was actually.
I need to pick your brain as to where to go, what to do. I mean, you have to tell me.
Well, all I know is that because I'm a friend, I'm Canadian. So we graduate speaking French, so I went to Paris thinking, I got some
somewhat fluent,
some street cred, and I remember I was lost because the streets are fucked. I mean, it's all cyclical and and they're all Rue de Florentina or whatever, they're all the same fucking name. So I was I'm so confused and it's getting dark and I can't find my hotel and I'm getting kind of scared, a little bit scared. And I went to a police officer and I said, excuse me, can you help me find out speaking in French? And he said, don't speak that bastard French. It's French Canadian. it was not Parisian French, right?
Oh, no.
And so I just stopped speaking French altogether. I just spoke English everywhere after that because he was like, don't speak that bastard French here. And I was just like,
Oh,
damn.
my.
But then he put me on the back of his little moped and got me back home. So it was, I guess, I said, oh,
so
okay.
okay.
I'm like, zut alors. Oh, mon Dieu. He was not happy with me, but yeah, it was a really fun experience. I had such a great time, but you're gonna love it.
I know, I'm so excited.
It's gonna be fabulous. Excited. And what a profound, beautiful profession, profession of love. What am I trying to say?
Proclamation? No.
Yes. Yeah.
Something like that, right? Professing you're my love. Yeah.
Professing, right? Like you're saying,
yes,
oh, gosh.
Yes.
And you're right. It's one of the most romantic places in the world that you can just fall in love with yourself. Yeah. It's so beautiful. And speaking of love, we do have next week our goddess gathering.
Yes. Speaking of love. Yes.
The Japanese goddess of
beauty.
Love and beauty.
Yes. Yeah. So we're intertwining that, which makes complete sense for this podcast too. Why we're self-love and beauty, just the beauty of yourself, beauty of life and love. But seeing the beauty everywhere. Yes, that's coming up. So we do have seats available. I have my Sacred Circle this Wednesday, which is all about mediumship. So if you want to, I don't have very many seats left. I might have one or two, which is great. So if you guys want to grab that last seat, come join me. It's going to be, what is mediumship and why would you see a medium, that kind of thing, and how to trust a medium and how to be a good sitter. And then also to teach you that you too already have these tools within you to communicate with your loved ones. So, and then, so it'll be 90 minutes, but the last half hour, I will do some quick little bullet readings of love and healing for those who are there. To see who shows up. Not everyone's guaranteed a reading, but it will serve the whole group, I'm sure. So of bringing in loved ones.
It's going to be so fun. We got some fun things. And I love you.
And I love you, sister.
So much. Oh my gosh, this was so fun. So please, folks, feel free to join us. Medium Circle, of course, going to be fucking badass. Join our Goddess Gathering next Wednesday, the 16th, I think. Is that right?
Yes, the 16th, exactly.
Yeah. So that would be really, really awesome. And we can just explore this. And if you have any questions about anything that's come up for you, maybe this is hit a nerve for you. I know we talked about a lot of really personal things today. I know I did about my journey. And, if this is, anything feels like we've hit a nerve here, feel free to reach out, talk to us, leave us a message, rate, review, post, and hashtag what? No,
yes.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't get any of that shit, but I just said all the things. Okay.
All the things that we're supposed to say. Yes. Yes. If you like this episode, like it, follow us, all that she said, but just reach out to us. We are available. We're always available.
Always.
Let us know that you're with us.
We love you. Oh,
yeah. Thanks for listening. All right, you guys have a great Namaste. So next week, Valentine's Day. We're going to pull some cards. We're going to pull some cards of readings. Yeah.
Messages
of
love. Yes.
That's right.
Namaste.
Namaste. Bye.